your research is something that you are passionate about. My name is Prof. Kalsom. We are going to spend 3 hours up to 12 o'clock this morning, to go through proposal writing, what it is, its function, and maybe how to write it correctly, and I will also discuss some tips that I have learned along the way, being a student and later on as a trainer and an examiner. We are going to stop for coffee, for some short break at about 10:30, and we're going to continue on until 11. I have so many slides that I want to go through. Hopefully you will take notes. You will get all these ingredients ready, so that when you sit down to do your proposal, all these things are there to help you write a research proposal that is that is effective. Yeah. Instead, it will be helpful for you to make notes of the reading and reflection and prepare a skeleton. Yeah? Okay. Since I mentioned research gap, I want to detour a little bit and talk about what research gap is. I think most of you have already know what research gap is, because that is at the tip of your tongue. When you discuss with your friends, your colleagues, your PhD colleagues, you will always say, oh, what is your research gap? Have you found your research gap? Oh, I have headache because I still haven't got research gaps yet. Okay, without the research gap, you will have no research. Yeah, you will have probably applied research, research that some agencies or some businesses want to do to solve some operational problem, but in terms of scholarly research, you still do not have a research. Yeah. Research gap establishes the need and the importance of a proposed research. With a gap, then you will say, hey, I need to do this research because there is a gap. I want to close the gap, or I want to narrow the gap. Sometimes it's better to say that we want to narrow instead of close completely, yeah, because research is sometimes contribute only very little to the gap. Yeah? Inexperienced researchers. Who are inexperienced researchers? Are you experienced researchers? I doubt. Students, they are inexperienced researchers. Yeah, they are fledgling. They are only starting. Yeah. Now, inexperienced researchers may have to climb the mountain several times. That means they will have to read and read and read and think and read, and then go down and then climb again the mountain, and then climb down and then climb again the mountain before getting to the top. Getting the top means to find the gap. Okay, normal. It is normal. Yeah. What you want to find while you read is you want to discover what is missing. Yeah. What is missing? What is still not there? It's not. It's what is not addressed. Gap is something that is not addressed yet in the current stage of knowledge. Yeah, you see many people have done research in the issue that you are interested in, but you feel that something is still not right. The research is still not enough. About what? You must know about what. That's the gap. Your colleagues, your PhD colleagues, you will always say, oh, what is your research gap? Have you found your research gap? Oh, I have headache because I still haven't got research gaps yet. Okay, without the research gap, you will have no research. Yeah, you will have probably applied research, research that some agencies or some businesses want to do to solve some operational problem, but in terms of scholarly research, you still do not have a research. Yeah. Research gap establishes the need and the importance of a proposed research. With a gap, then you will say, hey, I need to do this research because there is a gap. I want to close the gap, or I want to narrow the gap. Sometimes it's better to say that we want to narrow instead of close completely, yeah, because research is sometimes contribute only very little to the gap. Yeah? Inexperienced researchers, who are inexperienced researchers? Are you experienced researchers? I doubt. Students, they are inexperienced researchers. Yeah, they are fledgling. They are only starting. Yeah. Now, inexperienced researchers may have to climb the mountain several times. That means they will have to read and read and read and think and read, and then go down. It is chapter 1. In chapter 1, I have given a snapshot of what's going to be researched and why and how even. Yeah. And then you will tell what's going to happen in chapter 2 and what's going to happen in chapter 3. Okay. For the proposal, this section should provide a timeline for completing the research and writing up the dissertation. When the dissertation is complete, this section should be revised to eliminate the timeline information. Yeah. Again, some universities or some institutions or some department doesn't require this. Okay, but it will help. It won't hurt if you add a timeline, a Gantt chart for your research. Okay, it actually can indicate to the examiners that you have thought a plan for your research and you are serious about the research. Okay, again, some departments or some institutions, some universities do not require this. Okay. Okay, chapter 2, but I think Fadel, we will have this. I want to review a hotel. I want to review a product. You want to say something about the product. But literature review is not just it's that lah. You observe, you taste, you analyze, and then you tell what you think about it. Yeah, that's what literature review is. In this chapter, you write in a way to position your study, your research gap in the ongoing topic, and develop the specific intellectual traditions to which the study links. This part goes to the theories and all that, and also goes to the current knowledge and current research. You must be selective and persuasive. I think this is important, selective. Not all that you not all that you read, not all quotations that you take note on can be used, because eventually probably you won't use that quotes or that idea, So you select the one that you, at the end of the process, you think is useful for your study. The student that we look at the example just now about the Langkawi research, I am so sure she has read so many theories, but she doesn't include those theories in her literature because it has no connection. It doesn't serve any purpose. Buat apa? Yeah? So you must be selective and at the same time persuasive, building a case, yeah, for what is known or believed, what's missing, and how this study fits in. Yeah, you have this to be in a persuasive tone. What you want to do with this chapter is that you want to place your research study within the line. Always, yeah, again, file put in the cloud so that you won't be frustrated if something happened to your computer. Okay. Methodology, we'll talk about design of your research, the site or population of interest, also sampling, the specific methods for gathering data, the implementation of data gathering, preliminary discussion of strategies for analyzing the data and how the study's trustworthiness will be ensured. I mean the validity, yeah. So you must kind of like hint, how you are going to make the study more valid and unbiased, so that people will believe that your method will work, okay, and will provide unbiased findings that will be useful. Okay, so all these things need to be in the methodology. The arrangement, meaning that which one comes first, which one is later, is actually up to the researcher and the supervisor. Sometimes institutions provide a guideline. What is 2.1, what is 3.1, what is 3.2, what is 2.3. But to me, as long as you have this and it flows nicely, it's all right. Okay. Now, I am going to then detail out each of these element. If you do quantitative and if you do qualitative. Okay. But before that,